Good morning and welcome to a video with a walk with coffeeneil, and today I am in Chesterfield, so it's not far from me, this one. It's only a 20-minute drive and I'm just parked up, and it's cost me £3.50 for all day parking not far from the train station. So let's go around and I'll show you around here.
So there's the train station. I quite like that train station. I'm not going to go in. It's just a small train station, but you can get to a lot of places from here. If you're going north, it heads up to sort of Newcastle, the trains, and if you're going south, you sort of can head towards Plymouth, you can head towards Norwich, you can head towards London, and it's a train station what passes through the likes of Derby and Sheffield as well, so the interchange is pretty good.
So now I'm going to head into the town centre, which is about a 2-minute walk, and the first thing I do is walk over a little footbridge. So as you can see, I led up there, you can see the spire, you can see the bridge here, what goes over the dual carriageway. And again, I'll show you around. So where I am down here, Chesterfield used to be a really good night out, but unfortunately some of it's like boarded up and closed now, like a lot of places unfortunately. So it's sad to see that this looks all closed down now. We used to go up there, get a shot of 10 shots for £12. Used to basically drink them all and then not be allowed in anywhere for the rest of the night, so that weren't a clever idea, were it? And this street used to just be full of bars. That's still funky though. So actually this bar behind me, I once had a little drink off with somebody I didn't know, and it were Tabasco sauce shots. I won. However, it did not feel very good when I was trying to play football the following morning. £2 entry, £2 drinks, that's pretty good for a Saturday night. So Aruba, this is still open, this has been open for years. Hopefully it stays open for years too. Like all the pubs, we need people to enjoy themselves. So I'm not just going to walk around and show you loads of pubs, but there are a lot of pubs to show you, and that was the beauty of this place for a long time. So across there you have the Winding Wheel. You can see it's a great building. There's a lot of these nice little buildings in Chesterfield, but the Winding Wheel is a great music venue. It's very old fashioned, and I've worked there before. I've been lucky enough to work with Seth Lakeman in there. I think King played in there as well, and maybe a couple of others, but they're the ones I remember. But if you ever get a chance to go in there, please do. It's a great little venue. They're not that little, it holds about 800 people I think. So I've come into the church here, the spire, the famous spire. Behind me is the War Memorial. A bit closer up you can see there, great little part of history, and just round here. Like I said in one of the last videos, I don't make an habit of walking around graveyards, but this is pretty cool. So some building this, I think the Sunday prayers and choir and that are going off at the minute. I can hear the music, so I'll be as quick as I can round here out of respect. So this is a side view of the spire. That just looks such an incredible building. And then that's it from the front. I love this building. It's a very special building, and it's a great landmark for Chesterfield to have. And there's some great history behind it. So while I've been walking around the spire land, what there was a gentleman, a Scottish gentleman, and he was going round off his own back cleaning up the churchyard. He didn't work for the church, he didn't work for the council, he was just going around cleaning up all the litter, which I thought were really, really good of him. It was really nice. He stopped for a chat. It was really nice as well. And the famous beach bar used to have many good nights in here, mainly through the week as well, like a Thursday night, which were crazy back then. So it is Sunday morning, that's why it's fairly quiet at the moment. Things are not open yet, but they are about to. I think it's about 11:15, so about 11 o'clock things do open up. But I'm sure there's a coffee place I can go and grab one from in a moment. Great thing about Chesterfield is it might be a little bit run down, but there's so many of these great buildings. Like, look at this, the potential this has. I hope they can find some investment eventually to really make this stand out, because this has got so much potential. Just hopefully they can find a solution to it. And again, another great building. There's people sat in there, so that might be a coffee shop, so I'll go and have a look. No, it's not a coffee shop, it's actually a Premier Inn, which is pretty cool. And to be fair, there's a lot of people sat there eating breakfast, so maybe the town is doing a bit better than I thought. And it's getting a lot more passing visitors than I thought. So we all love these cobbled streets, don't we? I don't know why I love them so much, I just really do. Again, another fantastic building. Chesterfield's very historic. That's one thing it's got going for it, all these great buildings. And as you can see the High Street, you can see the spire where I've just come from. There's the building from the other side as well, really cool. For traditional people, a Sunday market. It's not a Sunday market, it's actually a record fair, which the last time I came here there were a record fair on, so that's pretty cool, and I'm into my music, so I might have a look round. I found a coffee place, so I'm going to give this a go now. Very nice in here. Very nice. So the white Americano and a bacon roll has cost me £6.50. Looking forward to this. So here we are, let's give it a go. So I've just been in, I think it's called Corner. I can't make out whether that's an N or a V. However, I think it's an N. And I've got the coffee now as well to walk around with. So look at this building. And guess what? That's now taken over by a Wetherspoons. But at least it's occupied, that's the main thing. So I'm just having a walk over to Queen's Park, and here's a little footbridge. As you know, I love these things. But I'll give you a rating of the coffee and bacon sandwich together. So it cost me £6.50 for the coffee and the bacon sandwich, so that's probably in the same sort of region as your Costa, your Starbucks, your Cafe Nero, etc. The staff, he was friendly enough. The place inside was really beautiful. The standards, it was very clean. But I would give it probably about overall a 6 out of 10. I think for the price of the coffee, the Cafe Nero's, the Costa are much better value. I think the same goes for the sandwich as well. But it's all right, and it's nice to see these places, you know, pop up, and I'm sure they've got other things what stand out from them chains, but I can only judge the things I've tasted against the things I've had from the other places. So I'm on to Queen's Park now. As you can see there's a little cafe in there, but I've only just this second had a coffee, so I'm not going to go into there. I have had it from there before, and it was pretty good, so do check it out if you are in here. So I believe they have quite a bit of cricket on here, which I'm not a fan of the sport, but it's good for those who are to come and watch it during the summer. Obviously we're in October now, so I doubt there'll be much cricket on here. But there's the cricket pavilion, and check it out if you are a cricket fan. As you can see from the footpaths, plenty of access for prams, wheelchairs, and lots of beautiful green land. Really nice place for the summer, but it looks alright in the autumn too. So regardless of whatever you believe in, it's always good to see things like this and remember what history is. And here is the pavilion, very well maintained, plenty of seats around it too, so it's a very nice little feature in the park. So you will be happy to know that I know my way around here, so I will not be getting lost today, which is a bonus. And what you've also got around here is a lake you can walk around. It's got a little train squirrel there, a little train what goes around, but I don't think it's active today. So the one good thing about Chesterfield, if you're in and around here, it's quite close to quite a lot of places. So like Matlock's down the road, it's about 15 minutes away. A bit further on is Cromford, Black Rocks, them sort of places. So you're never far away from places. As I've mentioned before, Chesterfield has so many great buildings, and this is another one. And I'll take a few steps up to it. So it is a council building, but it's got some interesting scenery around it. So again, the history of the place is highlighted, which is very important. As you can tell, it's very well maintained. You can see the clock to what I went earlier. And a nice little walkway. It's very clean around here too. So I think Chesterfield is one of these towns that has so much potential. It just needs the investment. And if it gets the investment, they could do some special things with this place. So another unique building, and it is a shopping centre on the other side. So for me, Chesterfield has a lot of potential. If I look at places, say like York and Lincoln, what are quite small round, but have got a lot of things going off. If Chesterfield could get some funding, I honestly believe it could be quite a big tourist attraction as well. Because the buildings are fantastic. It's just a lot of it's run down, which is unfortunate, but there's so much potential here. Again, it's got good transport links. It's got a coach station, it's got a train station, it's got a bus station, it's got lots of car parking too. Also, what you have here in walkable distance from the town centre is a retail park, the likes of Poundland, B&M, M&S, Hobbycraft. I've just come in because I want to go to Hobbycraft. I wouldn't recommend parking here though. I'd recommend parking outside and walking down. Even though it's free in here, it's an horrendous car park to get out. So as you can see, Chesterfield's got all your sort of normal shops, your Primark, your H&M, Iceland up there, Coffee No. 1 there. Again, you can see the Works, JD, McDonald's and Costa down there. So there's plenty here. So yeah, you've got one of my favourites, Waterstones, you've got your Superdrug, you've got your New Look, you've got Wilko. Is that open? I know some of them have reopened. No, that one's not open. So yeah, the moral of the story is like there's plenty of shops here. Again, lots of side streets with shops on. I suppose the only downside is there are a lot of empty buildings, and it'd be nice to see them filled with ideally independent businesses. Well, that's a little bit different. See, no one can tell me places like this with these buildings do not have potential. So, well, I mentioned earlier that you could look at York and you could look at Lincoln. I know they're cities and Chesterfield's a town, but I think they're the places they should try and model themselves on, because like I said, there's a lot of good buildings here, and if they got these buildings and they started to get the right investment, it could be a really special place to come in. And for any of the football fans, the football ground's is fairly new, and that's really nice as well. So it's quite nice down there, and on another day I'll go back down there because there's some canal walks that way. So down the streets you have a music venue just tucked in the middle, which it's a pretty cool music venue to come to. I'll just show you in a sec. So the place is called Real Time Music. Saw Little Man Tate there earlier this year, and I've worked there with King before as well, so it's a really good venue, worth checking out. And on the other side, I'm not sure what this building is, but it's another great building, which Chesterfield, I've said so many times already, is full of. And again, the Methodist Church, another great building. Not sure about them colours though on that car park. Made me feel a bit sick actually. So I'll tell you what there is in Chesterfield, and there's not this in all the towns or places I visit. There's plenty of traffic lights, which means and zebra crossings to actually get across the road, because some of the places I've been are so difficult to get across the road. So Chesterfield's definitely got a win on that one. See, there's a big empty building that'll end up as a Morrison's or something, but you know what, like we knock all these really nice buildings down, but yet we'll keep things like this and rent it out. So another great venue. So another great building there. That's been many things over the years, between a church, between live music venue, between a bar. Now I can see a sign on there which is asking for a developer to buy it, which is a shame. However, if it does turn into apartments, if they leave the building as it is, it would still look pretty cool. So while I'm not like big on, you know, all these development things coming and taking over like these places before, what's the alternative? Knock it down? I'd rather it turn into apartments than be knocked down personally, but that's my personal opinion. So while that does look very old-fashioned across there, it still looks so good. So some work going off on here. I'm just going to have a look a bit closer to what's actually happening here. So an exciting new culture and performing arts venue that will celebrate Chesterfield's heritage, including the historic theatre, expanded museum and cafe bar. That, when it's up and running, I'm sure will be a much added thing to this town. I can't wait for this to open. That's exciting times. But just before I head back to the car, I'll just show you the spire once more. That is such a great building, such a great landmark. And that's what Chesterfield's famous for. So what do I think of Chesterfield? My view of Chesterfield today is, not just today, because obviously I don't live too far from here, so I know what it's like anyway, but I just wanted to show you around. But I think when you look at all the buildings there, there's some really, really great buildings. There's some good history about the place. The spire's fantastic. There's lots of places to eat in terms of pubs and cafes. There's quite a lot here. So what I would say is, I think this place has got a lot of potential to be a good tourist attraction. However, it's got to get some investment because there are too many empty buildings here. But I do really like this place, and I really hope in the future that some money comes into the town because it's got so much potential. And on that note, thanks for watching. This has been a video with A Walk with Coffee Neil, and I hope you've enjoyed it. See you next time.